Racing takes place out at Turffontein on the inside track on Thursday, the 15th of February 2024. Race number 1 is set to get underway at 12:35 over the 1,000 meter trip. It is an 8-race program, so that means the bipod will start in race number 1. Joining me on the line is Alistair Cohen. And Alistair, how's everything going your side? And obviously we're hoping for a car that doesn't pay as much as it did on Saturday.
Or pay as little. It can't pay as little. Hello, Raheel. Hello to all the viewers and to all the racing fans for a very tasty Thursday card at Turffontein, it must be said. Obviously, Main Defender adds to the impetus of the card, and hopefully he'll arrive for all his supporters, as many supporters. Turffontein will be heaving just because he's running. Saturday was a weird old day. I mean, I was proud to tip the jackpot until I saw the return. I'd hate to say it, but it will be one of those days that if I were a winner on Saturday, I'd probably be quite disappointed, because I'm the type of guy that would like to play a pick six that's going to pay 100,000 rand. That's the way that I angle it for. Try and find a few roughies that might have luck on their side, or a bar pot that looks competitive at the vol midwinter. That's my type of game. But Saturday went a little bit too well for everybody, and I'm pretty sure even if Main Defender were to win, that the pick six won't pay 130 rand like it did over the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll have a look at it, and we'll obviously go through your suggested bet, which is a bar pot, and it begins in race number 1, where Jumpin' Anelia is the favourite at 16-10, 2-1 about Out the Mist. It's Eve's Apple at 9-2, 6-1 and Better Bar. Those you can scratch. Number 1, Bossy Boots, eligible runner, obviously winning last week. And what's your thoughts on race number 1, which is a Work Riders maiden plate?
My Work Rider standards feel not the worst. The bar pot is my suggested bet, so I've got 3 horses to kick off. With my top choice being the 3 Jumping Anelia, who's been on the boil for a while. I thought her last run just a week earlier was the one that suggested that it wins just around the corner. Pelasila Bonkawa won the last Work Riders race in the half-hour when he won on Gardia Regine over the weekend for Robin Klaas, and of course Pelasila and Tony Peter and the Peter family go back forever. So 3 Jumping Anelia must have strong claims. She has obvious claims. I've included number 2 Out the Mist only because Sam Wasia takes her out. Sam and St. John Gray are a good partnership from many years ago. When they do team up, normally business to be done. She looks like she found a little bit last time behind Capola. Obviously that form has already got a winner, but I overall think that the form is probably a little bit below average. But how strong is this maiden? Not very strong is the answer. And then number 4, Together Again, under Alex Teto, who's got to deal with a race suspension after running second on Higgledy Piggledy, who runs a race later. Together Again, it's actually Candice Dawson's Work Rider. Alex Teto has a bit of a deep draw to overcome, which is not ideal, but she seems to have enough pace to be ridden forward, and if the track's running fast, which it should, there's been a sprinkling of rain, but certainly nothing that's going to make the track any more testing. So if she's able to get over and the track's running fast enough, then she can have claims. So I've gone with numbers 2, 3 and 4 in the opening leg of the bar pot. And funny enough, I think that the likely improver in this race could be number 7, Kiss the Magic. I don't know if she can win. I don't think she can win. I don't think she can beat her stable companion, number 4, Together Again. But for Quartet, put her in, because even though there's been no winners in the last run behind Ethanator, that was a very weak maiden, she's bred to be an out-and-out 1,000-meter horse. Farney Broncos trained the mother, Kissable. I just think there might be something there that unlocks after a break, not knowing anything. But 2, 3 and 4 I'm more than satisfied with in the first leg of the bar pot.
Going with the form runners in race number 1, 2, 3 and 4, and number 3 Jumping Anelia is the one that tops the boards at 16-10. Moving along to race number 2, 1,600 meters the distance, and here you can scratch number 1 Donna Mo. It's a field of just 8 runners that remain, where number 9 Kissing Machine is your 5-10 strong favorite. 4-1 Play with Fire. Higgledy Piggledy is at 9-2. It's then 14-1 and Better Bar. Those now. This horse, Kissing Machine, obviously found one too good last time out in the form of Frances Ethel, but she can only build on that performance, and she no doubt rates the one to beat with further scope for improvement.
I think this is going to be a record time to read a race. Kissing Machine, banker in all bets. Calvin Habib takes her out. Last time she had the worst of the draw. She was anything but disgraced behind Frances Ethel. Looks like she's upwardly mobile. And in a very, very, very shallow field, I think she'll win. The Scratching O'Donnell makes it easier. Play with Fire, I'm concerned about dropping in distance to 1,600 metres. Looked like she came into her own over 2,000 metres last time behind Patches of Grey. I don't think that was a particularly strong field. So if 9 Kissing Machine doesn't win, then I'll be most confused. She'll have to beat herself rather than anything beat her.
All in with number 9, Kissing Machine, in the second race on the program, which is the start of the PA. Moving along to race number 3, the start of the Pick 6 over 1,600 meters. And in this contest, you can scratch number 10, Cayenne Pepper. No Place Like Home is the favorite at 5-2, along with Rosario Finale, 3-1, Officer in Command, 6-1, Master TikTok, it's 8-1, and Better Bar Those. Now, this horse, No Place Like Home, he's obviously had quite a few chances. He's knocking on the door. If you ignore his penultimate start, he's got some fair form to his name. And this horse, Rosario Finale, punted off the boards as if they knew the result last time out and tried to lead them from start to finish, but was found wanting over the final 400 meters and beaten 13 lengths behind Storm Brasco. In hindsight, obviously Storm Brasco won by, I think it was 8 lengths. So, 5 lengths or so behind, 4.5 lengths behind the second horse. Not a bad run, given that he was returning off a rest, and now he's been gelded, and Gavin gets back aboard. So there could obviously be further scope for improvement.
Well, there are 2 points of concern that you raised there, Rahil. First of all, number 1, No Place Like Home being favourite. I've loaded up in the bar pot and I've left No Place Like Home out. He's got a bad draw. I know that he's consistent. He might have been a trifle unlucky last time, but I don't know. I'm going to bypass the full brother to Shoemaker, so that's the first concern. The second concern is exactly as you mentioned with Rosora Finale last time from a deep draw. Even though I liked him and I thought that he was the best horse in the race, turned out that Storm Brasco is now running the first leg of the Tab Triple Crown, so that's how he's regarded. From a deep draw, coming back from a 6-month layoff, being punted off the boards and going off to the front at that speed was suicide. Now he's been gelded. I'd like to believe that Rosario Finale, that even finished 6 lengths to give me another chance and 3 parts of a length of free movement, is likely to be better than anyone else in this race. The only thing with Rosario Finale is that he's a big, bulky, stocky son of Ideal World. So he might just need a run or two to reach his peak coming off a layoff. That's what makes me think a little bit. So even though he has valid claims and he's my top choice, the vulnerabilities is just purely the profile of the horse in front of us. So if he's taken the gelding well and if he's fit enough, that being the key, he's the likely winner. But I've backed him up with a stable companion of the favourite, number 3, Officer in Command, who's holding form, hinting that a win might not be all that far away. Put it like this, I'd rather be on the side of a horse having a 6th maiden start than the horse having its 9th maiden start. Number 4, In a Blue Moon, I've got a bit of time for. He's a bit of a speculative inclusion. Lucky Udalakis' yard's been a bit quiet. He's coming back from a break as In a Blue Moon, but again, there's a little bit of form that you can make a case for, especially 6.5 lengths to Purple Picture, so that looks all right. I've got number 5, Master TikTok, in, only because he reverts back to a mile. I don't think he got home last time over 2,000 metres. He just looks like he didn't stay. He returned fatigued after that last run, so I think he's worth another go. And then the other horse I've included here is number 7, Caliburn. That might look a little bit crazy that I've got Caliburn in. I called his debut, and I'm absolutely blown away that he's still a maiden. Not beyond Fani Broncos to pop up in a race that's just under the radar and surprise people. Ryan Munger is here for maximum another month before he goes back to Canada. He's hoping to get the ride on Barbaresco in the South African Classic. If he gets that, he'll hang around until the SA Classic and then leave. If he's not on Barbaresco or Barbaresco sidesteps that, then he will go back at the end of the month. But all that's academic in this discussion. Caliburn, it's more of a feeling rather than an indication on form. He looks like a battler, but then lo and behold, he finished in front of Rosario Finale in the run to Storm Brasco.
Quite right on that, and he's at around 12-1 in the market, and obviously he is far more exposed, but he did get the better off number 2. He's currently at around 5-2, so he could offer some value at his current quote of 12-1 in race number 3. Moving along to race number 4 on the program, this will be the start of Jackpot 1, set to be run over the 2,600 meter trip. It is a maiden plate where you can scratch number 2, Judgment Day. Number 5, Caddy Zora, is at 15-10. Agamemnon is at 7-2, 4-1 Tax Haven, 4-1 Karoo Gold. It's then 5-1 and Better Bar Those. This horse, Agamemnon, Yeah, 375 days since he last ran, and he's quite a moderate maiden to put it that way. And to see him where he is on the boards, that is a concern for me, because I don't think he's a 7-2 shot, given that he's returning off such a long layoff and the form that he brings into the race. But this was Caddy Zora, terribly disappointing last time out, and I think we knew our fate a long way out.
Yeah, Raheel, I'm glad you kicked off with Agamemnon, because I got a message on Tuesday night saying, race over, fill your boots. I can't. 375 days off the course, reappearing over 2,600 meters. I've looked up the form lines that this horse has run to. They are moderate, to say the least. So if Agamemnon wins, that's credit to Tony Peter. But I won't be in the payout queue if Agamemnon wins. That's unheard of. But confidence is there. I've got 3 horses in the Bible. They are numbers 1, 3, and 5, with a very strong feeling that number 5, Caddy Zora, is looking for the trip. Although being by Quarari, I found the Quarari progeny throw more to the mother. Goran Gosa was a fantastic mare. I remember the streak of form that she went on before running in the Hollywoodbets Durbanville was, just over 10 years ago. I think it was the Bold Silvana July. And Caddy Zora, even though the form reversed with patches of grey and Caddy Zora out of the Regal Daughter form last time out, you're right, the change of tactics just didn't work. Sadly, she might default to the front again, because there's absolutely no evidence of pace in this race. Maybe 3 bells can go, but that's not going to assist her chances. So I'm willing to say that she's worth another chance only because of the step up in distance. There's early money on this Daughter of Quarari, so that's a good sign. And it will be great for Mark de Kock just the day after his birthday, which happens to be on Valentine's Day and Ash Wednesday, 2 of his favourite days, to kick off with the winner. So 5, Caddy Zora is my top choice. 1 and 3 is backup. Number 1, Tax Haven, should go this trip. There's a dunny player. There's quite a bit of dunny player form in the race earlier. If that's Franklin, Tax Haven could be taken a bit more seriously. He runs like he'll get the trip, so I shouldn't have too many worries with that. And then number 3, Karoo Gold, has been crying out for this distance. He is obviously a brother to Gold Bowl winner Imperial Ruby, and also related to another very accomplished stay in the form of Burmese Tiara, who won a few over an extended trip. He's in good shape. I actually saw him on Tuesday. He looks very, very well. So let's see if he's able to turn them over. He's a chance, but I think Caddy Zora is probably just more ahead of the curve than number 3, Karoo Gold.
I've been following this horse Karoo Gold on your advice after his second start, and I thought he would have possibly got the job done in his next 2 outings, but now going over a trip that could well suit him. Hopefully he can get the job done at around 4-1 in the market, and could represent a bit of value in what does look to be a shallow contest. Caddy Zora, the top selection in race number 4. Moving along to race number 5. This will be the start of Jackpot 2. It's an MR84 handicap over 1,800 meters. 3 o'clock is the off time. And Viva Brazil tops the boards at 22-10. 5-2 about player. He's found early support from 3-1. 7-1 Master Christmas. 8-1 Global Impact. It's then 12-1 and better bar those. Now, Viva Brazil, he comes into the race with good form. Run up last time out behind Street Art in receipt of 10 kgs. He found his match last time out, and from a 2 draw, 1,800 meters should not be a concern, although his last 3 runs have been over 2,000 meters. And then you've got player who last time out looked a winner. He went past Twin Turbo and he seemed like he was going to go on with the effort, but Twin Turbo fought back to get his head up where it mattered most, and going over 1,800 meters once again, a distance that he enjoys. He's definitely a runner that will be there or thereabouts once again.
Yeah, these are the only 2 horses for me, Raheel. I must be honest, I'm confident with number 3 player. Still think that he's above the handicapper, although getting turned over narrowly by Twin Turbo last time. I suppose that's no disgrace. Twin Turbo is something like a 10-time winner now. And player's in a very good space, just a month after his last run. This looks like the right type of place, the right type of race. He might be a bit better on a more galloping course, but that's not to say his legs are tied up on the inside track. He has been on the inside track 3 times before for a win. Peter Sunday and Paulie gets on very well with him, and he should go well. His penultimate start was an experiment. It wasn't a failed experiment. I think it was Well, I think it was a failed experiment. The trainer doesn't think so, but anyway, that's pillow talk. But anyway, number 3 player, the big chance, can't rule out his chances. And his danger, as you say, is the horse at the top of the board, who I have all the respect in the world for. Number 2, Viva Brazil under Craig Zaki. You said that the drop to 1,800 meters might be a little bit of a question mark. It's actually not for me, although he's been good over 2,000 in his last 3 starts. I've looked up his breeding quite closely, and I'd say that this is probably a sweet spot for him distance-wise, being related to Viva Rio, a horse who ran second in the Cape Guineas and second in the Cape Derby over 1,600 metres and 2,000 metres respectively. He's definitely on the up as Viva Brazil. Got away with no penalty out of his last run when finishing a length and a half behind Street Art in a middle stakes. Every chance, number 2, Viva Brazil. The other horses in this race, when you look around, King's Express must have some sort of claims, having his first run in a handicap, or second run in a handicap rather. He won his first run in a novice handicap. Obviously, Celtic Rush comes back from a layoff. Vesuvio, funny enough, actually has the turnaround of the weights with player, but you just never know which Vesuvio is going to turn up, because he can do anything in the starting stalls. He's quite a quirky son of erupts. Pewter Sky's consistent but doesn't win. So I'm comfortable with the 2 horses, but I must confess, I think Player is going to be a hard horse to beat.
That's current number 3 Player at around 5-2 in the market. Quite a bit of confidence there from Alistair. Moving along to race number 6 on the program, 1,450 meters the distance, the final leg of the bar pot. It's a fillies and mares 76 handicap. It's a field of 12 runners that will line up. Duenna is the favorite at 5-2, 28-10 Alabama, and a 5-1 Little Miss Swagger, 6-1 Woodland Glade, and then it's 8-1 and Better Ball. Those now, Duenna, she's clearly a filly that's on the up. She's improving. 4 kgs off the back. That makes a huge difference, given that she was a winner last time out and got 4 points. So when you take the 4 kgs into account, she's effectively very well in this contest for a horse that has got far more improvement to come than the runners that she meets here.
So of that, there's absolutely no doubt, Raheel. However, remember perfectly for Duenna last time, Divine Moonlight was basically a rabbit in that race, and it set up perfectly for Duenna, who was the best horse in the race. We made her a good thing, and she arrived. But for me, there was an element of luck with how the race ran for her. But I think it's shrewd from Stuart Pettigrew to have put Tread Mayhew on Duenna's back. So, as you say, that completely offsets the penalty. In fact, it gives her an advantage with the penalty. And if you believe Tread Mayhew's worth is 4, which I certainly believe he is, then there's no reason to be put off number 1, Duenna. So, big chance indeed. She comes out of a good draw. There's a lot in her favour. 3 Alabama, Anna, despite a very strong opinion that she's better down the Val Straight than anywhere else, I still think she has to come into the play, because if the pace is on, you know where she's likely to be halfway through, and the pace should be on with a few horses in here like Secret Recipe who can go forward. Woodland Glade also went forward in her last 2 starts. So the race might run to suit Alabama, and she could be coming from a similar vicinity of Duenna, and she's got a very, very good turn of foot. I think she's got a better turn of foot than anyone else in the race. It's just a matter of whether she gets the right pace to aim at. If you like Alabama, Anna, then you've got to like Perilla. They met on the 19th of October at the Val. There was a short head between them. There's a slight advantage at the weights for Perilla to the tune of 1 kilo. Although Perilla's not been the same horse in her next 2 starts, I still think that she's worth another chance, only on logic. And then number 6, Little Miss Swagger, also goes, and Gavin Lorena takes her out for Farney Broncos. I expected a lot more from her coming out of her 2-year-old career, but has evidently been stop-start for her. It's now her 3rd run after a rest, and her last run was better, although in a race that might have been a bit weaker than this. But I'd still think that maybe there's a bit of meat on the bone for number 6, Little Miss Swagger. With regard to the Dawson horse, number 5, Just Be Nice, she'll run nicely. She always does. But off 98 days, I'd venture to say that she might be a run short. But quartet, outside place chance, quartet chance.
That's race number 6, Alabama and Duenna, the top 2 in the market, and they could be the 2 horses that fight out race number 6. Moving along to race number 7, and this is a Pinnacle Stakes over 1,200 meters, where we see Main Defender in action. He's at 6-10 in the market. He's a runner that comes in with a rating of 1-1, so he's the best horse in the race. He's got an awkward draw to deal with, but he did last time out as well. And we know he's got the gate speed to overcome at 1,200 meters. He's obviously dropping in trip, but I think it's a distance that he should be comfortable over, and I think he'll go very well and close to winning. And Have you heard anything regarding this runner from the Mike de Kock yard, Mujbar? He's a 6-year-old entire. He's the son of Muraha. I think possibly bringing him down for to become a stallion or so.
Yeah, that is the idea. I don't know how he's doing. The last time I spoke to Mike de Kock about this horse was well before 2024 started. I'd say about October time, and obviously news broke that he had been imported, and the game or the idea was to run him in the Lombard Kings Plate, and he said no chance, I'll get him ready in time for that. So here he is. But how he's going to go, I don't know. Watch him go down to the start. I think he's a nice, big, stocky, imposing entire Mujbar, but the idea to get him into the Lombard Kings Plate was certainly quite premature. Main Defender is the best horse in the race, Ricky. Of that, there's no doubt. Certainly on what we can see, Main Defender is the best horse in the race. Bear in mind that this will be a no-pressure run. I hear that he's going to be going for the HF Oppenheimer Horse Chestnut Stakes in early April. We've got the Hawaii coming up, so that will probably be the next target, and the Hawaii could be very well set up for him. Obviously, Calvin Abib takes it out. The draw's not ideal, but as I said, despite being the best horse in the race, this is a no-pressure run. He's proven himself at a very, very high level. He's beaten subsequent former Grade 1 and subsequent Grade 2 winner Sandringham Summit, and for me the race of the season so far in the Graham Beck Stakes by a short head. He proved himself when beating Thunderstruck, despite receiving a ton of weight from Thunderstruck, but Thunderstruck is very, very close to the best sprinter in the country. Whether it's Das, whether it's Vungu Vungu, whether it's Gimme a Prince, or whether it's Thunderstruck himself, you can use that debate, and Main Defender made him look ordinary in the Betway Joburg Spring Challenge. So those are the credentials that he brings in. Although I'm saying Main Defender's prepping, a lot of other horses are prepping as well. Melek is a very good horse, he's prepping. I don't believe either the Prophet can win a race of this nature over 1,200 metres despite his undoubted class. Captain Peg's always dangerous on the inside track, Rahil. 4 wins and 1 second from 5 starts, so there's a little bit of food for thought. Sianda Sasibo rides her well. He's unbeaten on this daughter of JP, so that's a potential lurker in the pack because she'll be fitter and certainly more ready than number 2, Main Defender. But I think class is going to tell here, and I think Main Defender is going to be a hard horse to beat. So he's going to be a banker in my terms. If I am looking for backup, it will come in the form of number 5, Captain Peg.
I think a nice horse for the exactors could be number 6, Gobsmacked. Draw 1. She's a filly that won her first 4 starts, and I remember they thought that she could be fairly useful, and 52.5 kgs on the back at 20-1 in the market could be a nice horse to include in those exactors with number 5, Captain Peg, who's currently at around 14-1, so you could get a decent payout in race number 7 with those exactors by bankering Main Defender for first and a couple of horses for second position. Moving along to race number 8, the final race on the day, 1,000 meters the distance, 16:45 is the off time, and Lincoln Navigator is the favorite at 12-10. 5-2, Var Park, 7-1, Don't Shoot the Barman. It's then 10-1 and Better Bar. Those you can scratch. Number 8, Work of Time. Now, Alistair, last time out, I was a bit distraught that this horse, Lincoln Navigator, got beat by Twin Turbo, who was returning off arrest, if I remember correctly. And I thought Lincoln Navigator would have probably got the job done last time out. And I know you were in his camp as well. You with him once again?
I have to be, Rahil. I was also blown away that he got beaten by Turbo Power last time, because Turbo Power, although being gelded and seems to be a more mature and settled horse, he is nuts as Turbo Power. He can be nuts. But he got beaten fair and square at Lincoln Navigator. Turbo Power ran past him and never looked back. But I still think that there's something about Lincoln Navigator. I'm not writing him off just yet. I think number 2, Dr. Faustus, will also have a chance, by the way, running in a handicap for the first time. I think he needed his last run. He certainly needed his last run. He had no right to be in that graduation just on paper, but he still, for me, ran slightly above himself, having given weight to Time for Orchids and only been beaten 7 lengths on that occasion. The tongue tie goes on, so let's see what effect that has. I'd also venture to say that he's going to be most effective over further than 1,000 metres, despite having the capabilities of winning over the strip. There's a horse here that I think is overpriced in the form number 7, Ethanator, who I mentioned earlier on in the card. The maiden form of which he won is very shallow. But Ethanator and Dr. Forster shouldn't be all that far away out of their last run at the Val just after Christmas. And draw 1's going to be a big advantage as well. Cabello Mazzignani now steps on board after the scratching of Work of Time. So that's worked out nicely for Sean Tarry and Connection. So I think number 7, Ethanator, just represents a little bit of value. And down the page, I just think that, all these horses that have lost their form, they don't look like they're finding it anytime soon, despite some of them being 3-year-olds and probably not being at the bottom of them. So, for me, numbers 4, 2, and 7, the horses to work around in the finale.
Ethernator could certainly be some nice value, as you heard from Alistair. He's overpriced at his quote of 10-1 and could run a huge race from gate number 1. We're going to move along to the suggested bet now, and Alistair will take us through his suggested bet, which is a bipod, and that commences with the running of race number 1 at 12:35. Alistair, take it away.
Yep, so bipod, race 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the first leg out, they missed Jumping in earlier and Together Again. The second leg of bank at number 9, Kissing Machine, she should win. Third leg I've opened up a little bit. Rosario Finale, my clear top choice, well, not clear top choice, is my top choice, but there are just doubts about whether such a big framed horse can handle it after a break. So 2 Rosario Finale, 3 Officer in Command, 4 In a Blue Moon, 5 Master TikTok, and 7 Caliburn. Then in the fourth leg, race 4, 1, 3, and 5, Taxhaven, Karoo Gold, and Caddy Zora. Then 2 and 3, Viva Brazil and Player. In the final leg of the bipod, gone 4 horses, 1 Duenna, 3 Alabama Anna, 4 Perilla, and 6 Little Miss Swagger. And then if we win the bipod, we got a little bit of money to have a bet on Main Defender, especially if the talk on course is as you'd expect it to be for such a popular horse.
You're quite right on that, and that is Alistair's bipod. It could end up paying a fair dividend on Thursday out at Turffontein. Alistair, thanks very much for your time. Have a wonderful day, and enjoy your weekend as well.
Yep, thanks, Raheel. Looking forward to it. Been a nice couple of days back up on the half-up, saying hello to a few. So, be back down in the Cape on Saturday. Looking forward to both cards, actually. Had a little glance at them, and despite having no feature races in Cape Town, a feature race at Turffontein and Hollywoodbets Scottsville this weekend, we should have a good one leading up to the Derby in just over a week from now.
There certainly is quite a bit of racing action coming your way over this weekend as well in South Africa. All the best with racing on Thursday out at Turffontein. Hopefully it's a profitable day's racing.